Nina. Today I'm going to be teaching a hip mobility class. So this class is going to work on opening up the ankles and the hips a little bit more just to increase the mobility and just kind of challenge the balance a little bit. And what you'll need in class today is a strap or a block, just depending on what your level of ability is with this class. It can be for beginner to an intermediate. Go at your own pace. If it's a little bit too fast, that's okay. Just do what you can. And I will provide modifications for any poses that may be a little bit more difficult or where you may need a block with the balancing postures. So just do the best that you can and enjoy this flow. So to get started, we're going to grab our strap. And if you don't have a strap, you can use a towel as well. And you're just going to place that underneath your foot. And you can pull the leg a little bit closer to you to get a nice stretch in the hamstring or the calf. What we really want to do is just start to move the ankle around a little bit. And then just use the strap to kind of guide it and to provide a little bit of a deeper stretch, maybe along the shin or the front of the foot. And just kind of play around with that a little bit. We don't really think too much about how the mobility of our feet and our ankles really affect our like the entire chain of events up our legs. So it's something that you just want to keep in mind that, you know, if you're trying to get into lotus pose or you're trying to get deeper in your squats, being able to have a little bit more mobility in the ankle is really important. And just switch legs here. Take that left foot into your strap, moving that strap around or moving your foot around in just different directions, maybe pulling on the strap to feel a deeper stretch in the side of the foot. And just another breath here. And pull the leg up a little bit closer to get a nice stretch, just to really start to warm up the hamstrings. And then just set your blanket or your strap aside. We're going to start off on our hands and knees, coming into tabletop position. So from tabletop, we'll start off with a couple of cat-cows. So inhale, lift up, and exhale, round through the upper back. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, round. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, round. Come back to a neutral spine. Just begin to shift your shoulders forward and back. Start to stretch the wrists a little bit here. And then from here, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. And just take a few moments here to pedal out your feet, bend your knees, just move around a little bit and try to find those nice tight areas to really stretch into. You're just warming up the body for the morning. You might feel really stiff, or maybe you've been sitting at a desk all day, which is something that I generally do. And sometimes it's just really good just to come off out of that chair and just come into a downward facing dog, because it really just opens up a lot of different parts of the body. From here, walk your feet forward to the top of your mat. And inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take your feet about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider with your toes slightly turned out. Inhale, extend your arms up towards the sky and sink your hips down, coming into the squat pose. We're just going to bounce a little bit here, start to open up and warm up the hips, turn those quads on, and then sink the hips a little bit lower. Bring your hands to heart center, come into Malasana. You can grab a block if you need a little assistance here. And just take your elbows to the inside of your thighs. And just use your elbows to push out a little bit more to really open up the hips. And just keep your back as straight as you can, really keep your chest lifted. And then fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Step your feet back into plank on an exhale. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You might feel a little stiff in that first sun salutation, but that's pretty normal, so just give yourself some time as we continue to move through. From here, look to the top of your mat. You can jump, step, or hop all the way up to the top. And inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Again, take your feet about hip distance apart. Turn the toes slightly turned out. And then inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, sink the hips down. Come into this low squat and just begin to bounce and slowly begin to lower all the way down into your malasana squat. Still bouncing here, keeping the arms lifted, allowing yourself to find your center of balance. Really start to open up the hips here, and then take your hands to your heart center and become still for a breath. On your next exhale, place your hands down, lift your hips up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Step back into your plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just take a few breaths here. Next up is just a little bit of a deeper stretching into the hips, going into a little variation of Sun Salutation B. And look to the top of your mat, jump, step, or hop all the way up to the top. Inhale, lift your arms all the way towards the sky. And exhale, sink your hips down and back, coming into chair pose. Really lift the arms up. Try to get them as close to your ears as possible. Keep those arms straight and engaged. Shift the hips back a little bit more. Shift them a little bit lower. And then from here, take that left foot back and extend back. Lower the knee down. And inhale, lift the arms up and back. Push the hips forward. Coming into the slow lunge stretch. Taking a nice deep stretch into the left psoas. Squeezing your left glute. Take the hands down, transition into your pyramid pose. Pulling that left hip forward and the right hip back. And then from here, come back into your low lunge. Just a couple of bounces here, up and down in this low lunge to start to open up that hip, squeezing your left glute. All right, and then step that left foot forward and come into a low malasana squat. Place your hands down, hold forward, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place the hands down, jump, step, or hop back into your plank and lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And take a big inhale here. Exhale out. Look to the top of your mat, jump, step, or hop all the way up to the top. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. And exhale, sink your hips down, chair pose. Shift a little bit more of the weight into your heels. Lift the arms up a little bit more and sink the hips a little bit lower. Start to shift the weight into your left foot. Pick your right foot up and back, coming into your low lunge. You can bring your hands together if that helps, or untuck your back toes. You really want to think about squeezing that right glute and really pushing the hips forward and lifting the arms up and back, reaching for that wall behind you. You should feel a nice deep stretch in that psoas and in your hip flexors. And then from here, place your hands down. Come into your pyramid pose. Taking a few breaths here. So we slowly start to really warm the body up. And then step that right foot back, come into your low lunge, squeeze your right glute and begin to bounce the hips up and down. Just using a little bit of ballistic stretching here to open up those hip flexor muscles. And then from here, pick your right foot up, come into your low squat, all the way down into your malasana, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump, step, or hop all the way back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat, jump, step, or hop all the way up. Just going through this one more time. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. And exhale, sink the hips down and back. From here, pick that left foot up, extend back, come into your low lunge. And exhale into your pyramid pose. Inhale into your low lunge, taking a few bounces here on the exhale. And inhale, pick that left foot up. And exhale, sink down into your malasana. Big inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump, step, or hop all the way back. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big inhale. Exhale out. Inhale. Exhale, jump, step, or hop all the way up to the top. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. And exhale, sink down into your chair pose. Start to extend your right foot back. Lower that knee down. Inhale, lift the arms. Low lunge. And exhale, come into your pyramid pose. Inhale, come into your low lunge. Exhale, bounce it out. Inhale, pick that right foot up, bring it up to the top of your mat. Exhale, lower down into your malasana. Inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back and lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'm going straight into our flow here. Kick your right leg up towards the sky, open up the hip, and just roll the hips around a little bit. And straighten that right leg out. On an exhale, place your right foot in between your hands. Dial your back foot down to 45 degrees. Inhale up, warrior one. We'll start off a little bit slow on the first round, so you'll start to really understand the flow. And then we'll pick up the speed in the following rounds. From warrior one, you're going to start to extend your right arm forward, lifting that left leg up off the ground. You can grab a block if you need it. Coming into your half moon pose. Really flexing your left toes, turning up towards the sky, squeezing your left quad. And from your half moon, slowly lower that left foot down, come into your warrior two. Taking a few moments here to get situated, making sure that right knee is really pushing forward and out to your right. You don't want that knee to be buckling in. Really want to work on stabilizing that knee with all of the surrounding muscles. From warrior two, transition into pyramid pose. And come into your low lunge. Drop that back knee down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, hands down. Step back into your plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Kick your left leg up towards the sky. Open up the hip. Roll it around a little bit here. And straighten out your left leg. Exhale, place your left foot in between your hands. Dial your back foot down. Inhale up, warrior one. Playing around with the stance of your feet. Maybe you bring that back foot up a little bit closer. Finding a lot of length here in the upper body and the spine, so you're not slouching down or arching the back. Really lengthen and lift up. Start to extend your left arm forward. Reach it forward, coming into your half moon, using a block if you need it. Taking a few breaths here. Take your time. If you fall out, no need to rush. Find that center of stillness within you as you transition into each pose. Taking a bend in the knee if you need. Slowly lower that right foot back and down into warrior two. Again, just paying attention to this left knee. Make sure it's pointing forward and out a little bit. From warrior two, come into your pyramid pose. Taking a few deep breaths. From here, step your right foot back, lower down, come into your low lunge. And exhale, hands down to the ground, step back into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from here, just come down to your knees really quick. We're going to do a quick hip mobility exercise. So from here, you're going to pull your left knee into your chest from tabletop. And then start to bring and lift that left leg up out to the side. Keep your hips level. Don't let your hips hike up. You want your hips to stay in one level line. And just lift up as high as you can. You should feel that in your outer glute when you're just moving from the hip joint, not from the entire hip. And then from here, start to take your left knee down and bring those, start to push your ankle up towards the sky. So we're really creating internal rotation. Again, keeping your knee lifted as much as you can. You're going to bring that leg back and around. This is going to be a very slow, controlled movement. No need to rush. Start to externally rotate again, only moving from the hip. Notice how my hip moves like this. We want to keep that hip level, or hip line nice and level. Start to externally rotate only from the hip joint. Bring back to the chest and back down. We'll do that just a few more times. Bring the left knee in, bring out, internally rotate, lifting that left heel up and around. And then externally rotate, lifting that left knee up and out and lowering back down. Last one, lift that left knee in, bring out, only moving from the hip joint, internally rotate, lifting that heel up and around. And then externally rotating it, bringing it back around and lower down. Switching sides, hug your right knee into your chest. Bring that right knee out to the side. Don't lift the hips up again, keep it centered. Might be a little bit harder or easier on the side, depending on the mobility of your hips. Start to internally rotating, dropping that left knee down, but keeping it as high as you can, and bringing that heel up and around. And then externally rotating, bringing that hip up and around, back to the chest and lower down. Just two more times. Bring that right knee into the chest. Extend and bring out to the side. Internally rotating, kicking that heel up to the sky, bringing it up and around. And externally rotating, slowly back and around, back to your chest and lower down. Just one more time. So again, remember, this is very slow and controlled. You don't want to rush this. You want to push the rotation of your hips to your limit so that you're really engaging the surrounding glute muscles. This really helps to work or increase the mobility of the hips when we do this, when we're really actively and very intentionally making these movements. Bring the right knee into the chest. Bring that right knee out to the side. Internally rotate, drop that right knee down, lift it up and around. Externally rotate, bring that knee out and back in, lower down. From here, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. From here, kick your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your right foot in between your hands. Inhale up, warrior one. And exhale, extend open to half moon. Inhale, really lengthen through that foot and reach up towards the sky. Exhale, lower down into your warrior two. Big inhale in. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, sink down into your low lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands down, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, kick your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, place your foot in between your hands. Inhale up, warrior one. Exhale into your half moon. Inhale, really lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. And exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower down into your low lunge. Inhale, lower your hands down. Exhale, come into plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Great job, guys. We're getting close to the finish line. Kick your right leg up towards the sky, open up the hip. We'll go a little bit further here. If you want to hang out here and this is a nice enough stretch for you, you can do that. You want to flip your dog, take your right foot down, extend your left foot out, reach that right arm up and over your head, and then flip your dog into three-legged dog. Exhale, place your foot in between your hands, inhale up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, half moon. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, into your pyramid pose. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Kick your left leg up towards the sky. Open up your hip. You can hang out here. Or if you'd like to flip your dog, place that left foot down, extend your right leg, reach your left arm up and over. Breathing into the ribs. And then flip your dog. Bring that left foot up and back. Exhale, place your left foot in between your hands. Inhale, up, warrior one. And exhale, half moon. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale into your pyramid. Inhale, lower that right knee down. Lift the arms up, low lunge. Exhale, hands down, step back into your plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. We'll go through that one more time. Kick your right leg up towards the sky. Open up the hip. Hang out here or flip your dog. Come back to three-legged dog. Exhale, place your right foot down. Inhale, up, warrior one. Exhale into your half moon. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands down, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just one more time on the left side. Kick your left leg up towards the sky, open up the hip. Hang out here or flip your dog. And come back to three-legged dog. Exhale, place your left foot down. Inhale, lift up, warrior one. Exhale, half moon. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. And then lower down your knees to the mat. And bring your heels together. Child's pose. Slowly start to come up. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So take your legs out about as far as you can. If you have a blanket or a block and you need a little bit of help, like if your hips tend to really tuck under and you kind of have this rounded back, you want to work towards almost like you're trying to arch the lower back, because you're trying to tilt the pelvis forward in order to be able to get that stretch in the back of the hamstring. So we're not working on stretching the lower back in this pose. We really want to work on stretching the correct muscles. So by putting a block or a blanket, or you can even fold up your mat for a little bit of a boost and just sit on that and bring your legs apart. And that gives you a little bit more of a boost so that you can tilt the pelvis forward. Sit up as straight as you can and then just fold forward. We'll be here for 5 deep breaths. And just squeeze your quads. This allows the hamstrings to relax and go deeper in the stretch. And slowly start to come all the way up. Unroll that mat if you use it for a boost. So you may need towels under your knees for this next pose, depending on how sensitive your knees are. We're gonna come into dead frog pose. So the way that we do this is we bend our knees. So it's like a middle split, but we're bending our knees. So spread your knees as far as you can. You want your ankle to be in line with your knee, and then your knee to be in line with your ankle. So you're really creating this 90-degree angle. And then come down onto your forearms. For a deeper stretch, you can push the hips back. If it's too uncomfortable, you can come forward a little bit, but you really want to make sure that you feel that stretch. And get as comfortable as you can. We'll be here for 5 deep breaths. Slowly start to come out. And the final stretch we're going to go into is just a half cow face pose. So you may need a block for this just to sit on if you need a little boost. You're going to cross the right leg over the left, bring your heels next to your hips, sit up as straight as you can, and then start to fold forward. We'll be here for a few deep breaths. And then slowly start to come out. Switch sides, cross the left leg over the right. Sit up straight and fold forward. Slowly start to come out and roll all the way onto your backs. I'm going to come into just a short Shavasana, just to allow the body to cool down just for a moment, to allow our heart rate to return to normal. And slowly begin to move your fingers and toes, stretching your arms over your head. And then roll over onto one side of your body and just curl up here for a moment. And slowly push yourself all the way up to a seated position. Bring your hands onto your knees. Close your eyes, take a big inhale in. And exhale, let it out. Inhale. And exhale. Just one more time, inhale. And exhale. Take your hands to your heart center. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that your hips feel a little bit more open and happy and relaxed and loose after that flow. Again, if you needed modifications in that class, that's great. That means that you can only get better and move forward from this and improve on this class. So continue to do this class and any other mobility videos that I post. I'll be posting a lot more of these in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. And I will see you guys on the mat in the next class. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.